Today's episode is brought to you by DAX Copilot from Microsoft. To learn about how DAX Copilot can help you reduce burnout and restore the joy of practicing medicine, visit aka.ms/knock-knock-hi. That's aka.ms/knock-knock-hi.
You ever have that attending who is just an absolute fountain of knowledge and you wish you could just sit down and have coffee with them and be that third person in the room while they discuss those things?
Yes.
I am not that attending, but I do like to follow them around. And I wish that there was a podcast where I could emulate that kind of energy and have this third person feel like they're in the room with us, going into the nuances of what it means to be patient with someone, how to be therapeutic, but also being able to delve into off-topic and candid things about what it's like to be a resident.
Talk like humans do with candor. Do you hate Mondays like the cat Garfield?
I do hate Mondays.
Well, we want to make it better for you.
How can you make Mondays better for me?
Maybe you can listen to our podcast, How to Be Patient, where you hear Preston and I be talking about psychiatry.
I have to be very patient with Margaret.
Because I'm advanced. Because I'm a couple of years. I'm a PGY4 psych resident. Preston, you are
PGY2,
which is 2 less.
Margaret and I are not normal residents. We're cool residents. So if you want a boring podcast,
I'm going to get hazed for that.
I would avoid our show. But if you want to tune in, check in with us every Monday, and we'll be posting new episodes where we talk about topics ranging from cognitive behavioral therapy to vitamin D, how I feel about Fortnite, and everything in between.
Stregonona Fall.
And Stregonona Fall.
The Lizzie McGuire of it all.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Knock Knock Hi with the Glaucomfleckens. I am Dr. Glaucomflecken, also known as Will Flannery.
I am Lady Glaucomflecken, also known as Kristen Flannery.
I did another event where someone thought my name was Dr. Glaucomflecken.
Yes, I think more people think it's your name than people who don't think it's your name.
I keep saying
people who
this.
know your real name.
Let's just go to the courthouse.
Just get it changed.
We'll get it changed.
I don't know about that.
I don't agree with that.
I think it's all right to let them think that it is your name. Sure.
So it's been a while since we recorded together.
Yes, it has.
And already my body's falling apart.
It is. You thought you were younger than you are this weekend.
I pulled a muscle in my back.
You participated in some activities that almost 40-year-old man should not be participating in.
That's the thing. I wrestle with our 9-year-old.
Yes.
Frequently.
She likes to wrestle.
She loves
She's
wrestling.
A very physical, active kind of a kid.
I think the problem was that I tried to jump into her style of like Greco-Roman wrestling. Like immediately after I was just like laying down for hours, like watching football or something.
Right.
And so I need to start warming myself up. And I felt it. I turned the wrong way. I tried to body slam her into the bed. And I felt it. Just something tore in my back.
Ugh.
And now
you're turtled.
I'm doing the hunched over walk, like old man walk.
Yeah. Well, it's an improvement. Yesterday, for the first part of the day, you were just on your back.
Doesn't feel better. Doesn't feel any better.
Yeah.
At all.
Just pushing through
I just like end it all. I just like, it's terrible.
And what?
Just everything.
I think you need to clarify.
I don't know. I'm like, I feel like, how am I going to go to work tomorrow? I don't know. I have to figure that out.
Yeah. I think that you should perhaps go to the doctor.
This is why I wore a Jonathan shirt today, because I'm hoping that my scribe will carry me around clinic tomorrow.
It is always a little weird to see you wearing a shirt with your own face on it. There's 2 of your face when I look at you.
Oh man, usually it's like my neck, like that's when I'll like a muscle I'll pull. This is the first, like it's been a while, especially
Mm-hmm.
since I've been like working out more and I feel
Yeah.
stronger,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know.
But it's, been the holidays. I don't know. How much did you work out
I'm
over the
decompensated
holidays?
since the holidays.
Decompensated? Decomposing?
Yes, I have, my body has decompensated since the holidays. But see, I'm supposed to be like well rested, ready to go for the year, and now it's like I feel worse than ever.
Yeah. Great.
Ready to go, another year, everyone. Do you feel rested after the holidays?
Arrested?
Is it a restful time for you
No.
at all?
I'm Santa Claus. Santa doesn't get to rest.
That's true.
No.
But Santa's also
not
magical.
Restful. Yes, and I am not. So it's just another example of a woman doing all the work and a white man getting all the credit. It's just what it is.
Oh, Santa Claus?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. At least this year, this is the first year that they did not believe in Santa, like both of them. Everyone knows what the real deal is, but they still want to play the game. They still want to act
They did.
like there's a Santa.
That was surprising to me.
Yeah. They're very attached to it. I've done a lot of work to make like some strong magic and tradition around the holidays.
Like even
so
like
they didn't want to let that go.
Putting out milk and cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Still, like that was really important, even though they know.
And then I forgot to have Santa eat the cookies. Oh, and she completely noticed it. The younger one just
Santa
honed right in on that Santa didn't eat the cookies.
Santa's on a diet.
Oh, and she left out I don't remember what it was, but something for the reindeer. The reindeer also didn't eat it.
The carrots and celery.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my job.
Ugh.
To eat the carrots and
I
celery.
won't eat those. I'll take the cookies.
All right. So since it's been a while since we recorded, I went through some of the comments on our YouTube channel. All these episodes are up on our YouTube channel at Glaucomfleckens. We try to go through some of those YouTube comments. I love the comments you guys leave, by the way. But I have an update on the last time we did a Glauc talk that came out was you did a tirade about the all the paperwork that you have to fill out. And what's the point of it all?
Why do we, not what's the point of the paperwork, but why do we have to fill it out multiple times for the same people?
When you're checking in for an appointment.
Yeah. And then you fill it out and they just ask you the same questions once you get into the appointment.
What it was.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of comments from people.
Okay.
All right. So the first one from @Neen42 said, "I'm with Kristen. Read my damn chart."
Yeah. I already took the time to answer these.
Okay. So I wanted to give you that one. I thought that was good. The next one @LindsayK3914 said, "I wanted to comment about Kristen's comments about information."
This doesn't sound like it's going to be good for me.
No, it's fine. About information redundancy. I think the bulk of the issue is offices needing to cover their tails for MIPS purposes.
What's MIPS?
It's how Medicare basically decides how much they're going to pay like a medical practice and the physician their money. So you have to meet certain criteria. Okay. And that's absolutely true. Especially in our electronic health record, we have like check boxes, things we have to like say that we have that information.
Okay. Sure, but why do you need it twice?
They put things in place to make sure that they meet MIPS requirements so they don't get a pay cut. However, it often means redundancy. It's annoying. So it's just we have to have like an electronic version of these things.
But why can't you take what I wrote and put it into your electronics?
I think they do.
No, they just asked me the questions again and put it in there while I'm in the appointment. Like, why do we not have people that are just entering this data? If you're going to make me go to the trouble of filling it out,
I think they do, but it's done later. Like it's not in real time.
Okay, so I think what I've decided to do is I'm no longer going to be filling out paper forms. If they can hand them to me, then they've done their, but I'm not going to fill that out.
Oh, they're going to love you.
Yeah. I'm just not going to do it.
I'm not doing this on principle. I'm not filling out your forms. Just sit in the waiting room with my arms crossed. Just staring at everyone. No, I'm not doing this. Oh, you're filling out paperwork? Loser. Right? No?
as opposed to wasting my time filling out paperwork that doesn't matter.
You're just sitting there, right?
No, I have a child with me that I am trying to.
Oh, right. These are like pediatric
Yes.
visits. Yeah. Do you notice this whenever you go to the doctor personally?
No. I don't know if I'm just not noticing or when I go to the doctor, the appointments are so fast that they don't have time to ask me the questions. So I feel like then I'm happy. I'm happy to give you the answers to the questions you need. I just feel like it's disrespectful of my time and a poor use of an appointment to in the waiting room have me answer some questions on paper and then in the exam room answer the same questions while the doctor types it in. That's just inefficient and just a poor use of everyone's time.
Okay. I agree.
So if they're just going to ask me the questions anyway, why fill out the paper?
Well, this kind of leads into our healthcare news. Because there's lots of people in the healthcare system that are also fed up with the way things are done.
Yes.
And that has led people in the Providence Health system to strike.
Mm-hmm.
So now, by the time this comes out, maybe the strike will be over. But as of today, January 13th,
yes,
the strike. So like a lot of the nurses, like thousands of nurses in the Providence system here in Oregon.
Yes, which is the system, that one of the systems that
it's the largest,
have and use.
The Providence healthcare system is the largest employer in all of Oregon. So that just gives you the scope of this. And 2 main hospitals and then a few other smaller hospitals in the Portland area. Providence hospitals. Lots of nurses are striking. But the reason this is historic is because it's not just nurses this time.
Right.
There are about 125, something like that, physicians, hospitalists, internal medicine physicians who are also striking.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time that there's been physicians who have a physician union that's also joined into something like this.
Yeah.
So now they're 4 days in. And there's been no negotiation talks. And they're wanting, basically the biggest issue is something that comes up really frequently, which is unsafe staffing levels.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. And both nurses and physicians are clued in on this as being a big safety issue for patients. And so Providence is reporting that everything's running smoothly.
Yeah.
We'll see how long that lasts. I don't know. But one of my offices is right next to a Providence hospital.
Yeah.
So I drive by and they're all
picketing,
holding their signs and chanting things. And that was the first day. I haven't been back since, but I saw the first day of striking.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people out there.
Yeah. And it seems like Providence is trying to, the PR spin for them is basically to make the doctors look bad, right? Like, how could you walk out on your patients? Kind of a philosophy. Well, they're trying to put that forth to the public.
They're putting the blame, on and not just physicians, but also the nurses and they're wanting. I guess the quote I heard or saw from the Providence side of things was they're wanting all or nothing.
Yeah.
So saying that they're not willing to negotiate something, which, who knows? I mean, you're going to get, it's bias on both the sides, what kind of information you're going to get. But I tend to be skeptical of that kind of statement. So.
Yeah. Also, we know that it's a huge problem everywhere, including Providence.
Yeah.
The staffing issues, right? Yeah. Like, this is nothing new, and it's something that everyone is already aware is going on. So for them to say, I don't know, I just feel like they don't have a very strong leg to stand on, Providence.
How can you say
that they're doubling down anyway?
And how can you say the other side wants all or nothing when there's been no negotiation so far?
Well, there was negotiation before the strike. There were months of negotiations that's what led to the strike. That the physicians and the nurses felt like Providence was not playing ball in those negotiations.
Well, I know a lot of people are paying attention to this, and so I'll give updates as I drive by and see them all. Maybe I'll go talk with them.
Yeah.
Ask them questions.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
should. You're there anyway.
On my lunch break, I'll just
Yeah.
walk out there and see if they want some pizza. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because all health coworkers love pizza. I don't know. Candy. How about candy? Candy's better. Keeps their energy level up.
I guess so. Sure. Maybe some water. Bottles of water.
Water.
You get thirsty out there, I bet.
Are there rules against that?
Water?
You know, like the standing in line to vote, you can't give water in certain states.
You can't?
Wasn't that a thing? In like one of the southern states, like you're not allowed to. Larry David on Curb Your Enthusiasm did an episode on this. He got arrested.
People cannot go give voters standing in line
Water.
Water?
Yeah, it was like a thing.
Why?
It was like a law. I think it was
That's a
I think it was
stupid
Georgia or
law.
something. Yeah.
Why would that ever
there
be a
was
problem?
There was a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode about it. He got like the whole last season arc was he got arrested and he had to stand trial. And it was brilliant. It was genius. But yeah, that's like a thing. So who knows?
Wasn't the last episode or the last season of Seinfeld also they were standing trial?
Yep.
That's how Larry David likes to end his shows, I guess.
That was part of like the meta kind of
okay. It was on
commentary
purpose.
of it. It was
yeah.
it was very purposeful, and I think it was a brilliant move because
Yeah.
it was like kind of like a fu to all the critics who said that
was a bad move.
that was a bad way to end Seinfeld. Well, he just did it again. I loved
right.
it. All right, I've got a couple of fun things for us to do today. I figured let's not be too serious.
Yeah.
Because you and I, we're always very, very serious.
Yeah.
So, because we're getting back in the swing of recording, we still remember how to. It's been a few weeks, you guys. It really we took a break.
Yeah.
I think we still remember how to do this.
I think so. Here we
How to
are.
podcast.
Here we are.
We've been doing it. We're like 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, guess what though? You forgot an anniversary.
All right. No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
We've been married for 15 years.
No, not that anniversary.
Anniversary of
This podcast.
this. Oh, 2 years?
2 years.
Has it been 2 years?
Yes.
I know we just had 100 episodes not too long ago.
Yeah. Well, now we have our 2-year mark.
2 years.
Yeah.
Our podcast is a toddler.
Yes. It's maybe potty training.
A temperamental toddler.
Yeah.
With
3 was harder
with
though.
a bad
2's cute.
back.
It's still cute with a bad back.
All right. Well, congrats to you.
And you.
Yeah.
So there you go.
We've done a good job.
I hope so.
That was a question. Did we? Have we? I think so.
I guess the listeners will tell us.
But let's take a break, and then I'm gonna ask this question to you: have I gotten funnier?
Oh.
So let's take a break. Be right back. Hey, Kristen, you just got disability insurance recently.
Well, I got it renewed. Yeah.
How does it feel?
It feels pretty great.
Yeah, it's such an important thing,
It really is.
like, especially for physicians, because
Yeah.
I use
You
my
need
hands.
your hands.
I need my feet,
You need your feet.
Most
you
of my
need
hands.
your eyeballs.
eyeballs too.
Yeah.
There's like literally everything. Like there's
Yeah.
so many things that could happen, and having that peace of mind of having disability insurance is really important. And so let me tell you about Pearson Rabbits.
Tell me.
This is a physician-founded company by Dr. Stephanie Pearson, a disabled OBGYN, and Scott Ravitz, a disability insurance expert. Now, they've come together and have helped more than 6,000 physicians get disability insurance.
That's pretty cool.
Just an advocate for physicians as well to
Yeah.
like help people not have this massive oversight of like thinking you don't need disability insurance, because you
Right.
really do when you're a physician.
It's the kind of thing you got to buy when you're healthy for when you're not.
That's right. To find out more and get a free one-to-one consultation, go to pearsonravitz.com/knock-knock. Again, that's www.pearsonravitz.com/knock-knock to get more information and protect your biggest investment, you. Okay, so here's the origin of this topic, because I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I like went back on Facebook, like as far back as I could go?
Yeah, like back to college.
Yeah, and see like what our posts were like.
Ugh.
Now,
I don't think I want to know.
unfortunately, it was actually not that easy to do. It was like the earliest posts were all like other people saying things to me. Like I
Yes.
couldn't see my own thoughts, my own posts
Well,
from like
Did
2008.
you consider that you probably didn't make many?
No, I did. But
You
okay,
did? I
so
feel like you're more of a lurker.
I was at first, yes. But I do remember writing things. I remember like commenting on your Facebook
Oh.
thing. Like we had some back and forth.
I thought that was mostly on AIM.
It was initially, but then we did have some Facebook things.
Oh, okay.
Oh God, I wish I had those AIM conversations still. Oh man. Is there a way to get those back?
I have no idea. I don't
Probably
even
not. I doubt
remember
it.
how to log in.
AOL Instant Messenger. Tried to explain that. It's honestly not that different from iMessage. I was explaining it to our daughter.
Yeah. It was texting before there was
Just much cooler.
smartphones.
So anyway, the point is, like, I couldn't find anything that was really useful on like old Facebook.
Mhm.
It used to be like when you'd write a post, it would be like Will Flannery is, and then you'd write something.
Right. In the third person
Very
about
limiting,
yourself.
very limiting, and
Yeah.
how you could like say things on the internet. And it just wasn't interesting. But I was like, okay, what could maybe we could share some like the first jokes, the first things that I was doing as
Oh.
Glaucomflecken. Because I don't know if you know this. I mean, you know this, but if the people don't know this, I started Glaucomflecken. It was my pseudonym when I was writing satire articles for a website called Gomer Blog.
That's right.
It's the Onion for medical professionals. That was never anywhere near as popular as the Onion, but it had its heyday among medical professionals.
Yeah.
And everybody picked a name to write under. And nobody picked their own name, by the way, because, of course, this was like 2000. It
was during
this?
residency. So
it was like
somewhere between 2014 and
actually 2015 was when my first article was published.
Yeah.
But back then it was like, oh, doctors can't be funny. There were no funny doctors who were themselves and their real name on social media because that was all scary and you would get fired.
Well, not only doctors can't be funny, but doctors can't be writing on the internet.
Yeah.
Unless you're writing doctor stuff.
Right. You couldn't, you couldn't do the satire thing. It was, so anyway. And so
You can't let people know you're a real person at
right.
that time.
Right. But I was writing under the name Dr. Glaucomflecken, but it wasn't on social media. It was just these articles.
Mhm.
So I went through my old articles and I just thought I would give you the titles of the articles.
Okay.
And keep going until you laugh.
Oh, no. Okay. I feel like you need to give the good people, some context so that I don't get painted like a bad guy here. Because I know what they're going to think.
We're not going to do it just until you lie. That was mainly a joke because you've probably heard a lot of these, but you probably don't remember them.
I might. I don't know.
You might remember some of them, but I'll go through like 10 of them.
Okay.
All right. These are, I'm really actually curious to find which ones you think are like give you, and a laugh is not like, ha ha ha.
Right. It's like a. Yeah. But again, will you please give the people some context? Because
Kristen's heard all my jokes.
Right. When you say it like this, it sounds like I'm a real jerk.
No. You've heard all my jokes, and I run lots of things by you to see if they're funny, and if because you've heard everything I say, if I get any kind of reaction out of you,
yes,
then I know it's probably really good.
Yes, but we've gotten to the point where it's like when comedians. I'm not calling myself a comedian, but when comedians talk about sharing their material with other comedians, or in a writer's room or something, like nobody is cracking up at things, generally speaking, like maybe occasionally. But for a lot of it, it's just like, oh yeah, that's funny. That'll work.
Yeah.
So we have more that dynamic
That's true.
with your comedy because that has become our business. So
that's true. Okay.
I just need people to know these things, that I'm not just being a mean person if I don't laugh.
No, not at all. Not at all. Okay. In fact, some of these actually I wrote down that I don't even think are that funny.
Okay.
So, all right, this will be a good test. And the question we're trying to end up asking, have I gotten funnier over time? All right. So again, this was like my first foray into medical comedy. Yeah. These articles that the titles I'm giving you. All right. Here's the first one. Attending loses perspective. Can't find it anywhere.
Okay. That got a chuckle.
Attending answers telephone at nurse's station. Immediately regrets decision.
Mm-hmm.
That was that's from my own personal like experience.
You answered the phone, or you saw someone answer the phone?
Well, I both. Like,
Yeah.
it's so like a ringing telephone in a hospital, like attendings, physicians should not go near that thing.
Yeah.
Because usually it's like some kind of logistical thing that is
Yeah.
more like on the nurses, like they know how to
Right.
do.
They know answers to the questions, and you do not.
So I just like answer a ringing telephone as a random doctor who might not even be honestly working on that.
Why
on
would
that
anyone
unit.
pick up that phone then?
Because it's a
Why
ringing telephone.
you don't have the mental capacity to go, oh, that's not my telephone.
But if
I don't need to be.
If no one's around,
Oh, see, you left that part out. Okay.
if no one's around and it's just a ringing phone, there's
Yeah.
a strong societal urge to
okay.
answer that phone.
I get that.
Because that poor person on the other line,
Yeah.
they really need someone to talk to. That person might be useless,
Yeah.
but they need to talk to someone. Okay, here we go. Starting off strong. Ophthalmologist dresses up as doctor for Halloween.
Okay.
I was
Pretty
proud
good.
of that one.
Yep.
Pediatric anesthesiologist can't even put own kids to sleep.
Okay, that's good. I feel that one in my soul. There's pain in there that one touches.
That was one of a very. I remember that one taken off on Facebook.
Yeah.
People like that one. Okay, this is a dated one. OJ
Uh-oh.
OJ and neurosurgery resident both released from prison after 9 years.
Oh dear.
I remember I was at the park with with our kids.
Yeah.
When I saw that news broke that he was getting released from jail. And then I had that idea. And then I came home and wrote the article. I remember that one. Okay. Med student with crushing debt terrified he will like family medicine.
Okay. That's maybe a little too real.
It's a little bit too real. Confrontation visual fields ends in triple homicide.
What? I don't even know what that means.
So a confrontation visual fields this is a very nerdy ophthalmology joke. Is where you like say, okay, how many fingers do you see? You're mapping out someone's peripheral vision.
Okay.
And it's called confrontation visual fields.
Why?
Because you're confronting them with numbers.
Okay.
And saying, do you see these in your peripheral vision?
Yeah. Ends in triple homicide?
Because it's confrontation.
Okay. I feel like that's maybe not your strongest. Because my next question is, well, who were the three people?
All right.
Why are there three?
Okay, that's enough.
It just, yeah.
All right, that's good. Ophthalmologist reports hindsight more like 2080.
Okay. That one is a little bit of a pity laugh.
I told you not all these are good. That one did not do well either. Dermatology resident violates work hour minimums.
Yeah.
Resident tempts fate, sits down at nursing computer.
Yeah.
That one was popular.
That's relatable.
Yep. Study shows, quote, hold on, I'll get your nurse. Most common thing doctors say to patients. That one was also very popular.
Yeah.
And then the last one I have here was actually my very first one. Do you remember it?
No. Not by free recall anyway. Maybe I'll remember when you say it.
Ophthalmologist accidentally agrees to see inpatient consult.
Yep. Okay. Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I've taken, I see a lot of your later comedy in these titles, right? Like you have used some of those ideas and they have become tropes for your characters.
I used to mine my old, so I was like going through my old articles because no one, they've been basically gone from the internet for quite a while.
Right.
And I would use those articles. I'd go through them and see if I had any good jokes. And then I've long since, run out of that kind of material. I've had to come up with new stuff. But yeah.
So in one sense, you have not gotten funnier because a lot of it you just recycled. 10 years later, you're still using the same ideas here.
I would say I think my writing has definitely gotten sharper and more concise. Like I was going through these articles like, oh, I would have I would have reworked the title to this one and to something that works a little bit better. And so I think the main thing is like the writing, the sense of what I find funny
is the same.
Hasn't really changed.
Yeah.
It's more the sharpness of the writing.
That was what I was going to say next is, but then on the other hand, you have 10 more years of practice at this. And so inevitably you have improved after 10 years of practice. I would hope so. Yeah. So you've learned things. You have 10 years more feedback of what works and what doesn't work, because that's one of the things about writing on the internet. You get immediate feedback of, do people like this or not? Was this funny or not?
Yeah. That was the first time, and all of these articles I wrote them from like 2015 probably to 2017. So it was like within like a year and a half or so.
Yeah.
Before I just started doing my own thing as Glaucomflecken.
And then you took these and went to Twitter, and that's I think where you learned to be more concise.
Yeah, because you only had like 140 characters. That's right. But it was good. I'm glad. I think because I remember I would spend like hours trying to come up with one of these articles.
Yeah.
And thinking about taking a specialty and be like, okay, what can I use with this? That was the first time I was like trying to get outside of ophthalmology.
Right.
And that really set me up for doing all the character stuff later, because it was like I had already thought about things from the perspective of an orthopedic surgeon.
Specialty.
So,
Yeah. And you were doing that, only a couple years or 1 or 2 years removed from doing things that were not ophthalmology. So, back when you still remembered some of the body medicine stuff.
That's right.
So lucky for you that was the timing, because if you tried to do the same thing now, do you think you could like come to anything at this point that's not ophthalmology related?
It would be harder, but no, I think I probably, but it would be much more difficult.
Yeah.
So
like all the specifics start to fade over time.
Yeah.
So lucky you.
What have you gotten better at over 10 years?
I don't know. What have I gotten better at over 10 years? What do you think?
Dealing with me?
Well, arguable. Have I gotten better?
Organizational skills?
Do you think those have gotten better?
You're always good at it. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you do it like a self?
Okay, you're putting me on the spot. It's hard to think of things on the spot. Let's see.
What do you call it? A self assessment.
Yeah.
Here's your self assessment. What have you gotten better at?
Usually you get some time to think about this.
10 years ago, what were you really bad at, and now you're not so bad at it?
I don't know. This is too hard.
All right, you think about it.
I need an outsider's perspective. Give me some options.
Okay. You have writing. I'll give you. How about I got nothing.
See,
I got nothing.
It's hard
because I'm not you. All right.
I guess I've gotten better at public speaking.
Okay, that's a good one.
I always like kind of liked it. I wasn't one of those people that was like super afraid of public speaking, but for the same reasons of just practice over the years. Yep. Hopefully, I've gotten better at that.
Yep. You ever embarrassed yourself on stage? Like had your like zipper down or fallen?
Not that I know of.
Tripped over something.
Oh, I might have tripped.
Yeah, I was
maybe
about to
like
say,
up some stairs.
Seems like something you would do. I've done that before, actually.
Especially because I have to be in heels.
I almost fell off the back of a stage once.
Oh, that's not good.
Someone caught me.
Someone caught you?
Yeah.
Like physically caught you?
There was like a curtain behind the stage, and I was trying to go behind some chairs, and because there was like a panel or something, and I was like talking to someone, and I took a half step off of the stage.
Yeah.
And I would have just disappeared behind the curtain. like a 6 foot drop or something.
I kind of wish that you had. Like I don't want you to have gotten hurt or anything, but that would have been really funny for the audience.
Would it have been funny in the hospital? when I was
That's why I said
recovering
not
from
if
a
you got hurt. I don't
terrible
want you to get
skull fracture.
hurt. But
Yeah.
just think about
It
it.
was
Somebody
kinda
up
funny.
on stage just disappears.
Not
'cause
just
they fell off
anybody,
the
a
stage.
6'4"
Yes.
inch man, super lanky. Yeah, exactly. You're right.
It would be really
It would have been
funny.
very funny. It would have been funny. All right, let's take one more break. Hey, Kristen,
Yeah,
I've got some friends I'd like you to meet.
I see that. You seem a little too friendly with them, I have to say.
Aren't they cute?
Sure.
With the little beady eyes
Uh-huh.
and their little hands. Are they hands? The claws?
I don't know.
Appendages.
Okay.
How about that?
That works.
But anyway, they'd like to say hi.
Okay.
They'd like to say hi.
Okay. Wonderful.
Look, the one's sticking around.
It sure is.
All right.
Right on my mic.
These little guys are Demodex,
Mhm.
and they live on your eyelashes.
Yeah.
And they can cause flaky, red, irritated eyelids.
See, that's not cool.
You just
That's
kind of
a
want to
party foul.
rub them.
Mhm. You're not welcome here if you're going to do that.
And it's caused sometimes by these little guys.
Yep. That's rude.
Demodex blepharitis. But you shouldn't get grossed out by this.
Okay.
All right, you got to get checked out.
Yes. Get checked out.
To find out more, go to eyelidcheck.com. Again, that's EYELID check.com for more information about these little guys and Demodex blepharitis. All right, I got one more thing for you.
Okay.
So I was talking with one of our kids the other day, and I used an expression
Okay.
that was just like blank face, like, what
Yeah.
on earth are you talking about? And it was barking up the wrong tree.
Oh, okay.
I don't even remember the context
Yeah.
that I used it for, but I just used that expression and just had no idea. I had never heard that.
Yeah.
And so it made me like wonder, like, what is that actually? Like,
Yeah.
like
Where did that come
where
from?
did it come from? What's the origin of it? Why do we still use it? So I found the origin of it, as well as the origin of some other popular sayings that old people say to not just really anybody, but probably other things that our kids would be like, why are you saying that to me?
Yeah. Can I guess at barking up the wrong tree?
Yes.
Okay. My guess would be it's about a dog and a cat.
Okay.
And the cat runs up a tree and the dog is chasing the cat and goes to the wrong tree, thinking the cat is in that tree, but the cat is not in that tree. And so the dog is literally barking up the wrong tree.
Correct.
That was just a
Hunting
guess.
dogs chase their prey up a tree. The dogs bark, assuming that the prey is still in the tree when the prey is no longer in the tree.
Okay, so it's probably not cats. It's probably more like birds.
Yeah, probably not cats. I think it's like cartoons.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think dogs really like hunt down cats.
Ours does.
Well, yeah, I guess so. But the meaning of it is to have misguided thoughts about an event or situation, a false lead. All right, you want to do some more of these?
Yeah.
Okay. How about to butter someone up?
Ooh.
I remember us saying this, but I think our kids also have asked about this one too,
Yeah.
because I think we've said this before. So buttering someone
Butter
up means to
someone
impress
up.
someone with flattery.
Mhm.
This is a customary religious act in ancient India.
Oh.
The devout would throw butter balls at the statues of their gods to seek favor and forgiveness.
Interesting.
Now, this is like half-assed internet research.
Okay.
So
Is this like ChatGPT's answers?
I honestly don't know, but you can find these on the internet.
Okay.
So nobody get mad at me if they're wrong.
Yeah.
You can also correct me if we are wrong here. Okay.
But I wonder why the gods would want butter, just because it's yummy. It was maybe like a delicacy back then. I don't know.
Maybe butter was.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like butter. Just churn up
It's
some
just
butter.
good.
Make some butter. Anyway, all right. Here's a good one.
Okay.
Giving the cold shoulder. You've heard that, right?
Ooh, yeah. Where would that have
So
come
being
from?
unwelcoming or an antisocial behavior towards someone, or
Mhm.
you just kind of be like, I don't want anything to do
Yeah.
with you.
Right.
So the origin, the first recorded use of this phrase dates back to the early 1800s. It refers to an old custom of giving an unwelcome guest a cold piece of meat from the shoulder of mutton,
Oh.
pork, or beef chop, as opposed to a welcome guest receiving warm meat.
Okay. I don't know. Is the shoulder like less good meat?
Can you?
Like it's tougher or something?
I don't know, but can you imagine how devastating it would be to like? So what if like you think someone's a friend of yours?
Yeah.
You
Then
come
they give
over
you some cold meat.
and they give you some. Hey, let me give you some meat, and you put it in your mouth, and it is cold. Like that's just like, just put yourself in that situation.
Yeah.
And then you just get up, you don't say anything, just walk out.
Yep.
Never talk to that person again. The cold shoulder.
Interesting.
All right. How about to let one's hair down?
Yeah. Like
To
cut
relax, be at ease.
loose. Yeah. I feel like that probably has to do with like women and how they were required to wear their hair, and that you can only let it down in certain
In public,
familial situations.
In public, the aristocratic women of medieval times were obliged to appear in elegant hairdos that were usually pulled up. The only time they would let their hair down was when they came home and relaxed. Hard to be a woman
Now it's more
back
like,
in medieval
take
times.
your hard pants off.
That's right. Turn a blind eye. Have you heard that one?
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
To ignore situations, ignore facts, ignore reality.
Right.
So the origin of that, the British naval hero, Admiral Horatio Nelson, had one blind eye. Once,
did he wear an eye patch? So he's on naval.
Probably. Eye patches were very
like
popular back then.
Pirate-like.
Probably.
Guy with an eye patch on a ship.
Once when the British forces signaled for him to stop attacking a fleet of Danish ships, he held up a telescope to his blind eye and said, "I do not see the signal." He attacked nevertheless and was victorious.
That's a
Horatio
bold
Nelson.
move. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a little sarcastic fellow there,
Yeah.
huh?
It's a good thing he was victorious, or I think he would have been in some trouble.
How about breaking the ice? Let's do one more. Break the ice.
Breaking the ice.
What do you think? To break off a conflict or commence a friendship. I've never heard it as something to break off a conflict. Breaking the ice.
Like,
like icy
like
relationship.
There's tension in the room, and so you come in and you break the
Okay,
ice. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. So back when road transportation was not developed, ships would be the only transportation and means of trade. And at times, the ships would get stuck during the winter because of ice formation. The receiving country would send small ships to break the ice to clear a way for the trade ships. This gesture showed affiliation and understanding between two territories. That's so nice.
Yeah.
Kelly, can you come break the ice for me?
Yeah.
I'll send you a little tugboats. Come break some ice.
It used to be a favor or a gesture of goodwill. Now it's a conversation starter.
There you go.
That has taken a turn.
All right, that was it. Those were expressions.
Huh. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, I got more too. We could do some more another time. Always come up with some more expressions that old people use that confound and confuse the younger generation.
It's becoming more and more apparent that we are now the old people.
If you have any expressions that you have found interesting origin stories for, I'd love to hear them.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. You can send us those or any other stories you might have. knockknockhi@human-content.com. That's it for Knock Knock Hi.
Yeah.
For Glauc Talk.
For today.
for today. Year 3 now.
Yeah.
We are on year 3.
Right. We have year 3 has commenced.
That's right.
We've broken the ice on year 3.
We've done it. So lots of ways you can hit us up. You can reach out, knockknockhi@human-content.com. Visit us on our social media platforms. Hang out with us and our Human Content Podcast family on Instagram and TikTok @HumanContentPods. Thanks to all the great listeners leaving feedback and reviews. We love to see those reviews, especially on our YouTube channel @Glaucomfleckens. All the episodes are there. Knock Knock I, Knock Knock Hi, Knock Knock
Glauc Talk.
Bye. No, we haven't done any of those.
We haven't done
yet.
that one yet.
That's gonna be our very
Wonder
last.
what that would be.
Our very last episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if you leave a review on the YouTube on the YouTube on YouTube or on your favorite podcasting app, we can give you a shout out. Like today, @someonetonedef123 on YouTube said, "I changed my podcast from audio to video just to see the mites dance."
Good. All right.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
I was still got to get that mite suit.
Oh, yeah.
Big life-size.
Who's going to wear it, you or me?
I think it's more likely to fit you.
Okay.
You're a bit smaller, like
True.
a mite.
Like a mite. Gee, thanks.
Well, mite size.
It's like bite size.
Full video episodes are up every week on our YouTube channel at Glaucomflecken. Check that out. We also have a Patreon. Lots of cool perks, bonus episodes, react to medical shows and movies. Hang out with other members of our little Knock Knock High community. We're all back from holiday vacation and ready to just keep the community going.
What if this is airing like in April?
It's not. I know. It's airing end of January.
Oh, okay. That's not too dated.
Early ad-free episode access, interactive Q&A live stream events, much more. Patreon.com/Glaucomflecken. Go to Glaucomflecken.com.
Go to Glaucomflecken.com.
Go to Glaucomflecken.com. Speaking of Patreon community perks, new member shout out, Phil R., Jennifer F., Diana K. Thank you all for being patrons.
Welcome.
Thank you for joining our little community. Shout out to the Jonathans as usual. Patrick CSC, Sharon S., Edward K., Stephen G., Marion W., Mr. Granddaddy, Caitlin C., Brianna L., Mary H. K.L., Keith G., Jeremiah H., Parker, Muhammad L., David H. times 2, Kaylee A., Gabe, Gary M., Eric B., Marlene S., Scott M., Kelsey M., Joseph S., Dr. Hoover, and Bubbly Salt. Virtual head nod to you all. And Patreon roulette time, random shout out to someone on the emergency medicine tier. Sherry R. Thank you, Sherry R., for being a patron. And thank you all for listening. We are your hosts, Will and Kristen Planner, also known as the Glaucomfleckens. Executive producers are Will Planner, Kristen Planner, Aaron Corney, Rob Goldman, and Shanti Brook. Editor and engineer is Jason Portiza. Our music is by Omer Ben-Zvi. To learn about Knock Knock High's program and disclaiming ethics, policies, mission verification, licensing terms, and HIPAA release terms, go to Glaucomflecken.com or reach out to us, knockknockhigh@human-content.com. Any questions, concerns, or fun medical puns, or if you have fun medical puns about the HIPAA release terms.
Oh, that's a tough ask.
Please. It's a guaranteed segment on this podcast if you can do that. Knock Knock High is a human content production.
Knock, knock, goodbye.
Hey, Kristen, how's the eye contact with your doctor?
Like when I go in for a visit, we're having a conversation. It's hit or miss. You know, sometimes they look at you, but a lot of the time they're looking at their computer because they have to write down all the things.
You're a big eye contact person.
I am. It's a pet peeve if you're not making eye contact when someone is talking.
You've told me several times.
Many, many times.
You know what would help, though?
What?
DAX Copilot from Microsoft.
That would help.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah, you're right.
Reduces administrative burden, lets physicians focus on patients, make that eye contact,
Yes.
form a connection.
That's right.
Not having to look at the computer all the time.
Right.
90% of patients say their physician spends less time on a computer when they're using DAX Copilot.
That's what I want.
It's a big deal. 85% of patients say their physician is more focused with DAX
Ooh.
Copilot. You like focus.
Sure. Who
Focus
doesn't?
on you, focus on the patient.
Focus
Great
on the
stuff.
problem.
That's right. Learn about how DAX Copilot can help you reduce burnout and restore the joy of practicing medicine. Visit aka.ms/knockknockhigh. That's aka.ms/knockknockhigh. Thanks for watching the episode. You can find more on that playlist over there. If you prefer to listen or you just had your eyes dilated, you can binge full episodes wherever you get your podcasts. Or join the party over on Patreon, where you get early access episodes, hang out with us, get lots of exclusive bonus content. Hope you subscribe, leave a comment below. Let us know what you think.